Sonatina in A minor by Georg Benda is a very popular intermediate level piece, and you'll love playing it. I've never had a student not love it. You can learn so much from practicing this piece because it will give you some classical style training. You'll work on articulation, legato, staccato, hand coordination and independence, finger strength, speed, and evenness. Today, I'm teaching a complete lesson on the sonatina. I'll show you solutions to some of the most common problem areas. I'll talk about rhythm, how to play fast and even, and expressively. You can find this sonatina in the Applause Book 1. This is a great book that I highly recommend, and I'm teaching all of the pieces in this book in a series on this channel. So I've linked this in the description if you want to buy it and then watch the lessons on the other pieces. I've included timestamps in the description below if you want to jump ahead in the lesson or revisit sections. This piece was composed during the classical period, so we want exciting, contrasting dynamics, but be careful not to play too heavy. Play lighter on the piano markings so that you don't end up so loud on the fortes. We also want to play with clean, clear articulations and avoid heavy pedal. The rhythm in this piece is fairly easy to understand. There's just 16th notes and 8th notes. So I recommend that you count for 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. If that's difficult and you're not getting the rhythm right, you could count for 16th notes in the beginning. It's just a big mouthful. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. There's one tricky place in this piece with the rhythm, and that's just before the DC Alfine with this new material that's very different from the rest of the sonatina. Students always struggle with the rhythm at bar 44. So the rhythm goes 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So the 16th notes are being played in between my counts. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. If you're still struggling with that, you could try counting this section for 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 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 1 E and a 2 E and a. That'll help you to know exactly how fast the 16th notes should be played. I usually recommend that you practice your pieces hand separate in the beginning, and this piece is no exception. You'll definitely benefit from practicing this hand separate a lot. But there are some places where it's probably going to feel more comfortable to just play hands together right away. Like on the first line, the right hand and left hand are working together to form these arpeggios. And here... Be careful about the rests. A lot of students ignore the rests. So you want to be very exact. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. You may struggle to play these 16th notes evenly and fast. And there's a couple of reasons why. It's because your right hand and left hand are switching. And also, you know, we're doing fast 16th notes in our weak left hand. Our left hand's usually weaker. And then the other problem is getting your right hand in place on time. So you want to practice jumping your right hand quickly. If you stop and think about the notes, you're just simply playing triads on these arpeggios. So the bar 1 is simply an A minor triad. And bar 3 is E major. So you're only playing E, G sharp, B, the whole measure. You could try practicing in rhythms if you're struggling with unevenness. So it's kind of fun too. This is another rhythm. Just a quick pause to remind you to hit the like button. That helps us reach more people. And consider subscribing if you like this video and you'd like to see more piano lesson videos like this. My mom and I teach fun classical pieces on this channel. The 6th in bar 2, I recommend using this fingering. Instead of hopping 1 5 1 5, 5 4 3, and then maybe to a 4th finger there. That'll improve your accuracy. When you're hopping with the same finger numbers, it's very easy to miss a key. Also at bar 12, use this fingering to help with accuracy, and the thirds here too. So this fingering, I'm doing some crossing over. I do recommend that you practice most of this piece hands separate so that you can get comfortable with the notes and the fingering and the articulations. So there, look at all of the staccatos and slurs on the second line here. So practicing hands separate will help you to get comfortable with those details. After you can play this piece hands separate clean and the notes are feeling easy, start practicing hands together, but make sure you go really slow so you get every detail. You may struggle with the accuracy on this next part with the hand crossings. So I recommend using this fingering 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So instead of just going 2, 2, 2, where you're likely to miss a key, use that fingering. That should help. And the other reason it's difficult is because your hands are playing the same key. So I find that playing the left hand staccato helps, because then your left hand's not in the way of your right hand. So use the same fingering later on in the piece. So here, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 in the left hand. Another thing that helps is memorizing this section so you can just watch your hands. It's going to be impossible if you're watching your hands and your music at the same time. And there's a pattern here. You're just doing a C octave, then C, B, A, back to C, A, G, F sharp. And then later on, here's an A octave, A, step down, and then G octave, G, step down, step down. So that's a nice pattern. Now let's talk about how to make this piece exciting and expressive. Dynamics are key. So again, we want noticeable changes, but don't play too heavy for this style of music. Here's some ideas for dynamics. In the beginning, you're starting in the key of A minor. So the music sounds powerful. So I start forte. Then at bar 25, you've transitioned to the key of C major. It sounds sweeter here, so I play lighter. Phrasing is also really important in playing this piece more expressively. So there's an obvious phrase ending at bar 16. So I just took a little bit of a breath before I started the next phrase. And then here's another phrase ending. I use a little bit of pedal on the long quarter notes in this piece. So here, and here. So I'm not going all the way down, I'm just using the top half of the pedal. Here in this section, right before the DC Alfine, there are some long quarter notes here where you can use some pedal. And this is quiet here, so it can be played really beautifully. So I'm using the pedal here. Down, change, then up, up, touch, touch, then I'm connecting, off. So this place, you can really boost your musicality because there's so much variety in the articulations. I forgot to mention this trill, and it's problematic for sure. You're going to start with the E and end with the D sharp. Something that you could do is play the A with your left hand, and then your right hand's free to do the trill. That's probably a lot easier than doing 1 and 4 and trying to trill 4 and 3. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this piece, and I'd love to hear what was insightful about this lesson. I hope you'll check out my playlist that has complete lessons on other pieces in this applause book, and thanks for being here today.